Let's see if this thing's on. And welcome back, Commanders. How you doing today? This is Lewis, back with another World of Warships video, or World of Warships Legends video. Yep, there's me doping already. How unusual. It's sort of short of ideas over the last week and a bit for review videos, so I figured we'll go back to basics and go over the World of Warships Legends medals you can obtain by doing certain things and so on and so forth. What are these medals you speak of? I did that out! Fear not, I'll quite happily go over them with you. And so, we begin with the Devastating Strike medal. Can be obtained several times per standard or ranked battle. Now, how you get a Devastating Strike is target an enemy ship, which is presumably very understandable. That's just me being cheeky. Yeah, Devastating Strike, you have to destroy an enemy ship with one artillery salvo, so that's all main guns doing their thing, or it's one torpedo salvo, or aircraft attacks. What? Okay. But yeah, anyway. So what you essentially have to do is remove an entire ship's health bar, to remove all the health in one go, plus an additional 50+% on top. So 150% health or more equals Devastating Strike. So that's that. Next one is, it's one of my personal favourites actually. It's just a flesh wound. Monty Python references springing to mind. Can be obtained several times in a round. But to obtain one of these, you have to, if you've just been sunk, but you've launched your torpedoes, or you've got an artillery salvo going through the air, or maybe your secondary guns have just fired off a few shots. Now, assuming that either one of your shells, or your torpedoes, or your secondary gun shells hit a ship and deal with that last impact, deals just enough damage to remove the rest of their health and sink them, that'll get you the Flesh Wound medal. Essentially, to put it bluntly, it's a revenge kind of medal. So, yeah, you sunk me, but I'm gonna get you. It's one of those, I'm taking you with me kind of deals. Anyway, next one out is the Close Quarters Expert. These are actually quite funny to obtain. I actually find them more impressive when someone in a cruiser gets these. I'm just saying. So, Close Quarters Experts, you can obtain these several times in a match. Right, here's how it works. You have to damage and destroy an enemy ship. Doesn't matter, if you've been chipping away with your torpedoes or your main guns and whatnot. Then one of your secondary guns deals that last impact. So if they've only got one hit point left, and your secondary gun shell just hits them in the right spot, and all good stuff, so just hits them, deals that last one hit point of damage and sinks them, that will get you a Close Quarters Expert medal. So that's what we've got next. The First Blood, very self-explanatory. First Blood, you can only get once a match because it's a one-time deal per match, but long story and explanation short, you just have to be the first ship on your side to sink an enemy ship and whatnot. So, yeah, if you get the first sinking in the match, you'll get the First Blood medal, and that is literally it. Next up is my Confederates medal. Yeah, you can obtain these only once per round. Here's how you get it. It's a bit of a tricky one to obtain if you've been but yeah. What you have to do is damage at least 6 enemy ships, so that's basically 2/3 of the enemy fleet, assuming obviously it's a 9v9 game. Damage caused to each ship has to exceed 20% of their hit points. So yeah, you have to damage 6 enemy ships for 20% of their base hit points. So let's just say, as an example, let's say you have 6 ships, 10,000 hit points each, and you deal 2,000 hit points of damage to each one. There's your Confederate medal. Does that make sense? Let's hope so. Next up is, one of my rarest ones I think, is the Kraken Unleashed. You can bag these only once around because there's only literally enough for just one per round. How to obtain these? You have to sink 5 or more enemy ships. There's a fair few ways you can do it, but ultimately, as long as you obviously deal that last little bit of damage to sink a ship 5 times over, so sink one ship, then another one, and sink, as long as you're dealing that last damaging hit to 5 different ships, that'll get your Kraken Unleashed. Next up is High Caliber. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to get, but it can be done if you just got to be patient with doing it. So how to obtain it? Obviously only once per round. You have to damage at least 4 enemy ships. Damage caused must exceed for 30% of the total hit points of all ships on the opposing side. So to put simply, if let's just say 9 ships have a grand total, let's say 100,000 hit points between them, and you obviously damage at least 4 of those ships, and you deal total damage output total of 100k, 30,000 hit points or more. That'd get you a high caliber medal. You can obtain these once around. Here's how it works. This means you have to take damage rather than give out damage. So, yeah, it can be a bit tricky to get, understandably, because it results, like I said, you've got to actually take damage for this one from fire. Obviously, once per round, you have to receive damage caused by fire that exceeds points and survive the match. So it doesn't matter if you win or lose, but if you're still surviving after taking a load of fire damage and whatnot, you will walk away with a fireproof medal at least. Next one this is fairly tricky to get, the double strike medal. Can be obtained several times per standard or rank battle. Here's how you get them. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you sink 2 ships within 10 seconds of each other. And there's several ways you can do this. When I last obtained this at the time recording this, I used my emerald. I rammed a Dunkirk just after I launched some torpedoes, which then went on to sink a New York not too far away from the Dunkirk. So I rammed the emerald, and then my torpedo sunk a USS New York within 10 seconds after that. So that got me the double strike medal. So yeah, you can use obviously your torpedoes, your main guns, secondary guns, or your own ship as a weapon to get a double strike. Or anything goes with that double strike medal. So yeah. What else we got? Dreadnought. This is obviously another one that requires that you take damage. Can only go once per round. You have to receive damage that exceeds 120% of your ship's normal hit points. So 100%. Plus an additional 20% or more of your base hit points. That damage has to come from 4 or more ships, and you have to survive the match. So you could probably see why it's a bit tricky to obtain. So yeah, ideally if you have a chance of getting the Dreadnought medal, you'll need a ship that has damage repair party consumables handy. So yeah, like I said, you have to take 120% plus damage of your ship's normal hit points from 4 ships or more, and survive the match. Doesn't matter if you win or lose, as long as you survive. Next up this is probably one of the harder ones to obtain in all honesty. It's the hardest one for me so far. The Witherer medal, once per round. You have to cause at least 60,000 hit points of fire and or flooding damage. That's damage over time. Not impact damage or explosion damage. That's burning damage over time and flooding damage over time. So yeah, you have to deal at least 60,000 hit points worth of fire and or flooding damage to enemy ships. Obviously, so you need lots of high explosive rounds and plenty of torpedoes to have a chance of getting this particular one. Obviously, when I did it, I used the only time I've done it so far. I used the King George V with loads of high explosive. I was able to keep just dealing out burning and burning and burning, and eventually it totted up to obviously 60,000 hit points worth of fire damage. Die Hard. The ultimate way of settling a quick argument, I think. Anyway, so Die Hard, you can obtain this if you're willing to risk it several times in a match and whatnot. All you have to do is destroy an enemy ship by ramming them and survive the encounter. So it is what it says on the tin. Ram a ship and still be floating afterwards. Well, yeah, what am I saying? My brain just went put for a minute. How unusual. So yeah, that's it. With this particular medal, you have to ram a ship and ensure they sink while you're still floating afterwards. Chances are you'll take flooding as a result from doing it, but if you're still floating afterwards, and well, it doesn't matter if you're flooding, whatever, as long as you're still alive after you've sunk them, you'll get Die Hard medal. Next we got, the Arsonist medal. can get these several times in a match. You have to sink a ship with by burning them, and that burning damage has to exceed 40% of their best hit points. So, let's just say, as an example, they have 1,000 hit points in total. You deal 400 hit points or more of fire damage, you'll get yourself an Arsonist medal, but they also have to sink as a result. So you've got to bear that in mind. Detonation, yeah, do I really have to talk about this one? I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, detonation, in all honesty, a medal you probably don't want to get, but we'll do it anyway. To get the destination medal, it has to happen to you, not you doing it to another ship. Well, yeah, so to get it, yeah, oh god, do I really want to? Probably don't, but anyway. Basically, you have to receive damage to your own ships and magazines, the ammo racks, that result in you getting detonated and blown up into smithereens. So yeah, it's kind of how can I put this? I'm just going to put it bluntly. It's at least you tried kind of medal. But yeah, so that's detonation. What else we got? Unsinkable medal can be attained obviously once per round. You have to receive damage from flooding that exceeds 40% of your hit points, and you have to survive the match. So if you're still floating after taking 40% flooding damage or more, and obviously survive the match and all that good stuff, you'll get the unsinkable medal. What else we got next? Liquidator. Oh, we got this one twice so far. Good God. Anyway, say a Liquidator medal can be obtained several times in a match. You have to sink an enemy by flooding that exceeds 40% or more of their hit points, and of course they have to die afterwards. So yeah, if you deal damage to 40% of the hit points, that results in their sinking. There's your Liquidator medal. And last but not least, I've obviously yet to even try and obtain this, and so yeah. But anyway, Solar Warrior, obviously the only one I currently don't have at this point in time. You can only obtain once per round. This is very specific circumstances. But anyway, to have a chance of getting this, you have to be the last ship on your team still alive, while the opposing side has to have at least 4 ships remaining on their side. So 1v4, and if you win the match, you walk away with a Solar Warrior medal, and that is literally it. But yeah, I think that covers everything for the little rundown of different medals in World of Warships Legends. Obviously, if you fancy dropping it over on Twitch, you can do so. www.twitch.tv/r_Lewis_88. And obviously dropping over there. Yeah, we could obviously talk to chat back and forth in real time. And quite often when I'm streaming over on Twitch, I tend to obviously have viewers joining in and whatnot, tiers 1 through 7, and all that good stuff. Can I think of anything else? No, I think that covers everything for medals in World of Warships Legends. So with that said, I'm going to obviously jump away and bounce that, all that good stuff, and I shall catch you.